Go the Rams. Bah!
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And pushed back a couple of metres. Gerard Walters just goes from dumbing half to pick up Darren Doherty. 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.
And welcome to our first episode of the Rampage League podcast for 2025 season. And we've got a great panel of Rugby League expert right here for this episode and hopefully for every episode coming up this season. Rolly, how are you, Rolly?
Yeah, good. Obviously, I've moved from Adelaide now, so I live in the heartland of Rugby League in Sydney. So I'll be your Sydney correspondent to keep you all informed about what's happening over here, and you can tell me what's going on in lovely South Australia.
Excellent. Tama, how are you?
Right, that's good. Everything's well.
Apai.
Good to be here.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. No worries. I just heard a few Queenslanders there saying that, Rolly, you're lying there, mate. They said Queensland's the heartland Rugby League. But wasn't Port Augusta previously, but now living in Adelaide, and I'm ready to kick things off and bring back the Rams, baby.
Australia back in 97, the Rams ran wild like a spark from heaven. Adelaide's pride on the rugby field with grit and heart. We refused to yield from behind much to the stands, the crowd would roar. The city felt alive like never before. Though the seasons were short, the passion ran deep. It's time to wake the legacy we've kept in our sleep. Bring back the Rams like the game ignite. Adelaide's ready to roar tonight. We got the heart, we got the fight. It's time to bring the Rams back to life. They wore the blue and gold, they carried the flame. Put South Australia in the rugby game. The spirit of the Rams never went away. It's been waiting in the wings for a brand new day. The kids in the park still dream that dream of running down the field in the Rams team. Let's bring the energy, let's light that fire. Adelaide's ready to rise higher and higher. Bring back the Rams, let the game ignite. Adelaide's ready to roar tonight. We got the heart, we got the pride. It's time to bring the Rams back to life. Furthermore, the blue and gold, they carried the flame. Put South Australia in the rugby game. The spirit of the Rams never went away. It's been waiting in the wings for a brand new day. In the park still dream that dream of running down the field in the Rams team. Let's bring the energy, let's light that fire. Adelaide's ready to rise higher and higher. Bring back the Rams, let the game ignite. Adelaide's ready to roar tonight. We got the heart, we got the pride. It's time to bring the Rams back to life. So here's to the team and the dream that remains. Adelaide's calling, it's time to reclaim. The Rams are our future, our history, our fight. Let's bring them back home under the stadium lights. So here's to the team and the dream that remains. Adelaide's calling, it's time to reclaim. The Rams are our future, our history, our fight. Let's bring them back home under the stadium lights.
And that track was Bring Back the Adelaide Rams, and it was by the band The Country Boys. I'd like to thank a good mate of mine for pointing me in the direction of the Country Boys, and they've got two more Adelaide Rams songs that we'll bring out in future episodes of the Rampage League podcast. Simon, let's talk results.
Kick it off, yeah. So we'll go through as round 7. So we missed the first 6 rounds. We're a bit lazy trying to get this podcast together. So we've missed a few rounds. So we'll cut them away. They don't really mean anything. Everyone's talked about that enough. So last Thursday night we had the Manly Sea Eagles versus the Dragons.
Thursday night,
possession underway. And they're right in front of the black dot. Ilias Gutherson, short again to Holmes. He can't slide past Garrett. Great defence. And the ball has been lost. Gutherson over the top. It'll be a try. It's another one for Sloane. He's got 5 in his last 5 games.
That was so classy from the fullback.
He's making a real fist of this wing stuff, Tyrell Sloane. Laurie Flanagan, Gutherson's there again. Holmes powering onto it, ball back on the inside. A hand of Jason Saab probably saved a try. He absolutely saved the try. If he wasn't the fastest man on the planet, the Dragons scored. Laurie tangled up in defenders. Here's Little, toying with the defence. Ilias, Flanagan, Gutherson, Surley, catching, passing, great hand. Sloane, he's going to go over. They would be wrapped with 6-0 at half-time. Damien Cook playing in that running lock-forward role now. There's a high tackle. Will they take the shot at goal? No issues. Down inside the Dragons 10, Brooks has had a lot of involvement and played. Oh, they dropped the ball. Sloane! Look out! Sloane sprinting over the halfway. Garrick's coming. Forget about it. He's off. He's gone. Sloane's gone the distance.
He's had the throttle at full tilt. He does move nicely, doesn't he?
Great balance.
There's a real player in him.
Here's a chance. They should score. They've got to try back. Kohler supporting Talau after a great pass to set up an overlap.
Well, Brad Fittler in the pre-game spoke to Daly Cherry Evans about unlocking Lehigh Hopewade.
He falls right down into it.
Okay, it's a moderate risky injury. It's on report. It's 10 metres. Started about 2 metres inside the left post, just like that.
Six short of halfway. Cherry Evans and Brooks combining. Oh, Hopewade with pace. Kohler's there. Benjamin Bojanic is there. Manly are going to lock this thing up.
Anything can happen Thursday.
Little man looking dangerous here. Ilias back to where the ball is playing. Here's Jacob Little. He's through a hole. He's over the line. He got it down. But Manly in attacking kick territory here. Cherry Evans on the right edge. Sends it up out wide. He's got Saab the lead. He grabbed it out of the air and he scores, Jason Saab. How about that one?
And then Saab goes up. Oh, he twists hard on that knee. I hope he's okay.
Manly's third greatest ever point scorer. He starts it on the left post. It threatened to come back, but it held its line. Game on now. If it wasn't already. Flanagan, Gutherson, look out! Saab's got an intercept, but he just got back to recover Gutherson.
Oh, the king.
Cherry Evans, is he close enough? Here he goes. He pulls the trigger on it. He got a great strike on it, but it was out left. They flog the Titans and they back it up with a hard-fought win here from 14-0 ahead to 2018 victors. They were tested, but they've come out trumps.
And obviously, everyone's saying that game was 20 points, 18. I was at the game, a bit one-eyed fan. I think the ref had a lot to do with the result. The Dragons kind of pulled out to an early lead. Manly kind of clawed back. Maybe should have won it, but the Dragons obviously held on. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. Obviously, I'm very biased at being a Manly fan. I think obviously not having Turbo there. DCE drama. He has only had 1 try assist since he's announced that he was leaving. So that's kind of costing Manly. Obviously, our halfback, you expect him to provide try assists. So I'd like to know what you thought. Obviously, Darren, you're going to be really biased as well. But you guys, if you seen the game, what was your thoughts on the Manly Dragons game?
Yeah, I'll kick things off. Yeah, I thought the game itself, I thought it wasn't too bad, but you did touch on Tom Trbojevic. I think him missing definitely stuns you guys quite severely. And DCE, yeah, again, when I watch him play, I'm sort of thinking, is what's happening currently sort of affecting how you guys are playing? And I'll probably argue that it is to a degree. He just doesn't look quite like what he did probably in the first 2-3 rounds, I would argue. But overall, yeah, look, from my perspective, I thought it was a tough game. Yeah, sure, I reckon some calls probably didn't go the way that I thought it would have or should have. But it's tough to tell. I mean, I thought Olakau'atu was actually quite good in patches there. Although in saying that, it was rocks and diamonds from him. But I didn't mind. Like the Dragons were sort of throwing at you guys as well. And defensively as well, I thought in patches they were not too bad as well. Overall, a good gritty game, but yeah.
So talking about Olakau'atu real quick, I was there. I feel like they went to his side too much. So once they went to the other side where Kohler was, we scored 2 tries straight away. Like Olakau'atu's a beast of a player, but maybe they went to him too much that game. That was all I got out of it. Like I was in the ground saying, on the grandstand saying, like, go left, don't go right, go to Kohler. Kohler is underrated player. He's a freak, but 100%. Yes, since DC's thing, as I said, he's looked disinterested a little bit. He didn't really do much kicking either. It was all Luke Brooks. And so this round with Turbo back, we'll see how that affects, obviously, the attack for Manly, because, that first 3 rounds, they were dynamite in attack, and then they kind of, Turbo injured and kind of, they were lackluster in attack, really. Tama, what was your thoughts on the game on Thursday night?
Yeah, I didn't see this one. I caught the highlights, but just with all the talk with Turbo, because I know he's back this week, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, straight away, there's a huge difference there. And I definitely think Manly will obviously be a better side this weekend. But, I think, again, you guys will probably say the same thing. Everyone runs the same systems and the plays, and it's just about who executes, on the night, on the day, who's got that consistency to execute those plays. But, like you said, just... For Manly, it's just gaining that confidence back for the first 3-4 rounds.
Exactly, 100%. Darren, do you have anything to add?
No, it's just been a very disappointing start for Manly, and with Trbojevic being out and the news about DCE, Manly's just not in a good place at the moment, and
yeah. So the next game was Friday, the early game, and this was obviously Easter Friday. The Doggies versus the Rabbitohs.
Good Friday footy underway. Enjoy the show. Souths against the Bulldogs. And Junior Totola brings it back. Look at the welcoming committee. Jamin Salmon without the headgear today. Set restart. And Curran with the footwork is over the try line. Josh Curran scores try number 1,000 for the Bulldogs at Accor Stadium.
We had him on Freddie in the 8th, Freddie. He spoke about he's changed his diet, he's been more professional. What did he say? When he was young, he probably had too much talent.
You've got to remember, he's got number 11 on, but he's playing front row.
Sexton kicks. Burton looked to be in front there. And Jai Gray puts it down, so now they can check all that via the bunker.
This will be a sin bin.
He reaches out with the right arm and interferes with Matt Burton. This is a professional foul as he has affected his run.
Pressure.
Now just having a look at the elements of a penalty try.
There'll be no penalty try.
With the vicinity of the other South Sydney defenders were ruling out a penalty try. However, the actions of Ewan Aiken are a professional foul. We have a decision.
The actions are deliberate. We grabbed him in a professional foul. There's no penalty try because of other players.
Keeping it in that central channel for King. Right under the black dots. And the Dogs feel like they're having a party already.
Well, if you have a look where every play the ball was, it was pretty much in the same blade of grass.
Early kick from Mitchell. He's got the angle. Tracy backtracking. And he takes a Bulldogs bounce.
Touche kicked on an early tackle as Matt Burton did the set prior.
Oh, what about that offload? Space opens up. Burton. He's got support arriving infield. He used the kick option, but Jai Gray does brilliantly.
No, not the option, but
David Manoli.
You've got to go with your first instinct. And again.
Man, number force it wide. Look at this space for Crichton. Puts the head down. Early ball for Carraz. Stands up. Tass. He's got support inside. They'll stroll over. Tupouniua for the Bulldogs, who are dominating here on Good Friday. Now Tracy. No look pass for Preston. Drags over Cody Walker and gets the footy down.
And somehow he finds some space in amongst the green and red. There it is.
He plays it on the last. Hayward out to Carraz. Tries him on kicking duty. Look at the hang time. It's a delightful kick right on the goal line. And they'll get a repeat set out of it. On the last. Now they go left. Burton had to reach for it. Deft kicking behind. And Sherry should be able to drag him into the end goal.
Doesn't Campbell Graham he's played his part today.
Whiten from close range. Hayward's service provides the opportunity for Sherry to make it 30 for the Dogs.
They've done this play about 3 or 4 times in this second half down that left side. Playing a short ball to Bronson Sherry.
Automatic Symbian for a slap. You got Kepi. Off you go.
Ooh. Where's the slap?
Stand by.
Well, there's Curran.
There it is. There is the try. I think. Did he hold on? Referee's going to send it up as no try, though.
Hang on. Sorry, mate.
What an effort from Hayward.
Right there, touch that little bit of rye. Or the carrot at the end of this game if they can hold South Sydney out.
Conceded just 14 points in the last 4 games, including this one. From dummy half, Mamazella's trying to crawl his way over. Double movement, denies the try. Hayward's kick. He'll chase his own work. Reach out, not quite get there. Great effort to Tola. 32 points to 0. The Bulldogs are having a party in 2025.
So the Doggies won 32-0.
Yeah.
I always say, I've been saying, because my sister's a Doggies fan, I always say to him, defence. You need to have good defence to win a comp. Like, if you have a good defence, your attack kind of comes. Like, if you can't win a comp if you're conceding too many points. And the Doggies, I think, have a really good defence. Like, saying the Rabbitohs had a few players out of position, whatever, but to be held scoreless, it's pretty good. And if you looked at the Doggies' form in the first 6 rounds, their defence has been really good. And they had a few players out, and they had Matt Burton out and Kikau out for a few games, and they still won without them. They're 2 kind of best players. So the Doggies, a lot of people saying top 4. I think top 2 finish. If I picked the grand final right now, I'd say the Doggies Storm. Obviously, long way to go. Injury, suspension, origin, stuff like that. But the Doggies really impressed me that game. Who's Crichton, Stephen Crichton. Since he's moved from the Panthers as the captain, he's lifted them. He's a great captain, and Doggies fans should be pretty happy. I've actually gone to Belmore a few times, not to watch the game, just go through there to get a kebab, and there's Doggies fans everywhere. It's pretty dangerous. Like, you don't go there unless you're wearing a Doggies jersey. Otherwise, you're going to get flogged. So, but yeah, Apai, what was your thoughts on the game on Friday?
Look, I like to say that I'm surprised with the result, but I'm not really. I think the Doggies are just firing all cylinders, and I don't think the positioning of Latrell Mitchell at 5'8" was really helping him. I get the concept, but in practice, he really wasn't delivering there. But like you touched on their defense, their offense, I just think they're in sync. They just know what they're doing. There's a good lot of synchronicity between the whole team from fullback to prop, and I really like what Stephen Crichton's doing. I reckon in particular, Reid Marnie as well. Shout out to Reid Marnie. He's just I mean it in a complimentary way, but he's just a dog. He's a dog. He's got that dog in him, and it's so good to see him play and again controlling the ruck. But just quickly on the Rabbitohs, look, maybe a few players out of position, i.e. Latrell Mitchell, but overall, it just for an occasion with all those fans, I really thought the Rabbitohs would have brought a lot more than what they brought to the table. Quite disappointing for them, their fans, but for the Doggies, huge compliments for them, and just quickly, their fans, second to none in terms of like the closest thing you'll get to EPL. I know Serrato touched on it, but I've always thought it is the Bulldogs fans. They are just wild, they're nuts, and if I go to Belmont, I'll definitely make sure I wear a Doggies jersey as well.
So, Tama, you want to add anything on to what we were saying?
No, just what you said before, Simon, about defence. To keep the Rabbitohs at 0 at this level, says a lot. Like like you said, the best attack is defense. So, the doggies at this stage there, they look awesome.
They definitely do. Darren, you got anything to add?
Just with such a shocking loss, not scoring anything, should we be worried about the Rabbitohs, or is it still too early to be worried?
Yeah, I think too early. I think they've got a few players back this week. They're putting Latrell back at fullback. Joe Gray's coming off the bench. He's been explosive at fullbacks. Off the bench, he'll add another option. Wayne Bennett, obviously a great coach. South will be there and thereabouts, and I think they'll bounce back. We'll probably still talk about the preview for the next round, but I think, the Doggies have too many good players to be worried about one bad game. Obviously, still not scoring a try is a problem, but they'll bounce back for sure. So, the next game, Friday again, Suncorp Stadium. This one shocked me. This one really shocked me.
Big shock.
Yeah, so the Dolphins 42, the Melbourne Storm 22.
It's a Storm kickoff. First use of the football for the Dolphins. It's a wobbly old kickoff. Fortunately for the Dolphins, it bounced up nicely, and there is the former Storm man with the first carry of the night, Kafusi. The Dolphins have a reloaded dummy half. Now Katoa, he puts a kick, and it's not a bad one. Pappenhausen had to get his skates on, but a penalty to the Dolphins.
There was Saifidi that hit the deck, the big number 8 for the Dolphins. He was chasing through.
Jermaine Azarko, the Dolphins' leading point scorer. He's played in every one of their games. Puts the Dolphins in front. 5 metres away. Couple of tackles left in the set. Garlick sees an opportunity, goes on his own. He'll almost get over. He's cut off just short. Munster goes to Hughes. Hughes kicking for Bradley, ready for takeoff. Oh, yeah, what a take. Kane Bradley, brilliant in the air. And he scores the first try of the night. 2 metres away from the line. Munster. Bloor, quick hands, Howarth Coates. Too easy in the end for Melbourne, but beautifully executed. And Xavier Coates scores in the corner. Bit of help as well as Pappenhausen. Oh, he's too good. He's too clever. He's too quick. Ryan Pappenhausen with the Sonic the Hedgehog haircut scores a Melbourne Storm try. Okay, Nichols goes to the milestone man, Kerr. Out the back, lovely pass. Nicarima dancing with them. He gives it to Gilbert. Gilbert back to Kerr. Kerr. Oh, yeah! Game 100. Scores a try. Well done, Josh Kerr. Big moments in this contest late in the first half as Katoa, a crossfield kick for Bostock. He got a catch on it. Brilliantly done. That's outstanding from Jack Bostock. We've got a game on our hands. The Finns are in again.
They're back.
Here's Farnworth. Out the back, Nicarima! There's a gap and he goes through. Lovely pass on the inside. Ray Stone! That is champagne!
Yes! We got it!
From the Dolphins. Ray Stone scores. We're all locked up. Here's the last for Melbourne. Hughes, they're running it. Anderson, dummy to Bradley. Can he get away from Farnworth? He does. You don't see that too often. Anderson with a kick. He's leading the chase, is he? No, Bostock's there to save the day. Brilliant play by Grant Anderson. Now Stone. Katoa. Oh, held it up beautifully. Oh, that is just brilliant from this young half, Isaiah Katoa. Lemuelu with the try.
Let's watch this big show. Straightens up. Jerome Hughes gets sucked in. And it's just a lovely little pass. There was no defenders in sight.
As Katoa kicks the hammer, chasing it through. Gets a catch on it. Tabuaifito. Oh, Ray Stone's got a double. Ray Stone's got a double. Right on by the hammer. What a take, what a try. And away from the line. Big opportunity for the Dolphins again as the kick comes through. Nicarima!
Stop it.
Nicarima gets the ball down and they go further in front. Donahue to Katoa. Kicks. Bradley. Oh, he lost it. Into the arms of Farnworth. Herbie! With the dive into the corner. After the short kick-off, there's another error. It's just the third time in the last 15 years that the Storm have conceded 40. And there's a bit happening again out there. The hammer and Munster. There's a bit happening further away from that as well.
You start a clear knock on, mate. You come in and start all that, you're in the bin. If you start a knock on, I know he starts it, you go on with it in the bin.
Last play. Can they get a consolation try? Kick across field for Bradley, and he'll grab a double. Bradley with his second try of the night, and the Storm get a late one. The Dolphins, 42, have defeated the Storm 22.
I don't see many people picking that. The Storm were putting points on like a lot in the last few games, and the Dolphins kind of been hit and miss. And to put that much on a Craig Bellamy coach team, you don't see that happen too often, do you? So, well done to the Dolphins, really. Like, what was your thoughts that way?
Yeah, look, just a shock, surprise, especially since the Storm sort of started with 3 scores, right? 3 tries. They were firing hard. You just probably thought it was another game where, the Dolphins probably get towed up, but not to be. The 28th minute, obviously, the Dolphins responded and they come back. But what surprised me was just how lost the Storm looked once the Dolphins were attacking and all firing in all cylinders. I like what Tubboy Fido was doing. Herbie Farnworth I thought was sensational in that game. But just the team, just how they were able to make the Storm not look good, which is really rare. But it baffles me just thinking about the game. But I love it. I love watching the Storm lose. I'm not gonna lie. So I enjoyed that. But I'm good on the Dolphins, man. I thought it was a good game for them.
Definitely. Tama, anything to add?
Well, I didn't have the Dolphins in my multi, I can tell you that. But was it 7 unanswered tries?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
At this level, bloody hell, that's just... If I would have got the Storm boys on the try line at the end of the game for some bloody sprints, 100-metre sprints. Bloody hell, man, that was terrible. But
terrible good.
But like you said, Dolphins, you got to give the credit to Dolphins, man.
Definitely. Darren, you got anything to add to that one?
No, I think you've covered that one pretty well. Yeah, it's just a massive surprise.
So the next game was over in New Zealand, and it was the Wars versus the Broncos.
Game is underway here with Chris Butler, the referee for this game. Casey Badger is in the bunker, and I tell you else is in the bunker too. It's Reece Walsh. Put Willison on his backside. Now here's a little dab, and Walters is through for a simple try, and the Broncos hit the front early. Ruck speed for the Warriors. Egan. Here's Clark. Can't get that connection with Metcalf on that occasion. To Opiki. Great tackle from Corey Jensen. Offside players. Clark hit down. Almost scores the try. 6 again for the Warriors for that Payne Haas infringement. Inside the 40 is Adam Reynolds. Inside the 40, what a cracking kick. A second 40-20 this season. He is all class, Adam Reynolds. Carrigan, Reynolds! Harris Davida lined him up. What a shot. Pates, it's still there for the Broncos though. Run that back, but he's just taking the ball there. Oh, straight through, busting through, that's Shibasaki. One to beat here. Here it goes to Willison. Now what has happened here? There's a player obstructed from making a tackle.
I think they've got him for a downtown. So at the play of the ball, Xavier Willison was offside. So he couldn't get himself involved in the play.
Still alive here, and that's a great catch from Katoni Staggs. Walsh, oh, it's forward. The pass is forward. Cobo thinks he's scoring, but it's going to be scrubbed out. Let's see what happens here. Aristotavida, overlap looming. Turpicki, great tackle right there. Katoni Staggs, magnificent. There's a 40-20 attempt. A 40-20 attempt. It's just in the field of play, and it's a 40-20. Last play here. There's Barnett. Messi from the Warriors. Might work out here. Corsi. try. He's passing the ball this time. Potential overlap, but looked clunky, and it's picked up here by Kurt Capewell. Metcalf right there, Capewell! No way! Aristavida. Oh, it's Nukote. Nukote! There's another one for the Warriors. Now Reynolds. Walsh, good hands. That's really good. Arthurs is there. Another try for Jesse Arthurs. In 2025, it's his 9th. Still plenty of tackles for the Broncos here. Lovely pickup from Reynolds. Corsica went back and still alive. And could that be a try? So there is the try confirmed by Liam Kennedy, the bunker, and it's a try to Reece Walsh. Here we go. It's Metcalf. Touchdown. This might work out here. Capewell keeps possession. Luke Metcalf for the lead. He's got it. Thought it was over. Boy, but hands on hit. Golden point underway here. And here's Walsh. Has he overcooked it? He has. Distance is good. Direction is fantastic.
Well, it was 1 from 5. Now he can make that 2 from 6. Tough night at the office. There was one way to make amends, and that was kick a goal he did.
And this game, I absolutely loved it. Did anyone see Sean Johnson in the crowd rip out his jersey? Yeah, that was awesome. It was funny because he had the Broncos jersey on and he wouldn't take it off, and then they were trying to G him up, and then he took it off, and then there's the Wars jersey. Yeah, as we kind of talked about a little bit. Thank you, Reece Walsh, for that one. He had a mad brain fart there and cost them the game. Yeah, good to see the Warriors win. Good to see the Broncos lose, because I feel like with the team they had, they should have won, and they should have won a few games that they've lost. And it's good to see the Warriors win after last year's efforts where they were kind of a bit disappointing, and then obviously losing Sean Johnson to retirement. People probably thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be a development year, but it seems to be not the case like that. They've got some good talent there, Metcalf. So yeah, I was happy to watch this game. Big crowd in New Zealand. Yeah, I loved it. So what was your thoughts, Apai? I thought you could have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, look, I thought the game was a good game. I was really nervous coming into this game. You obviously got the likes of Haas, Carrigan, Reece Walsh, got Donny Staggs, just to name a few. So I was really nervous, and coming off the back of a loss too as well. Both of us, I really thought that the Broncos would be up for it, and they were, in all honesty. I just really appreciated how we were able to meet what they threw at us. Again, Payne Haas, another game he has over 200 meters, right? It's just become the norm for him. So we couldn't necessarily stop Payne Haas, but we could stop everything else around him. So I thought that was all we had to do, and thankfully we did. But I really appreciate, I like Metcalf, again, zooming through. Leka Halasima, our second rower, 19 years old as well, might I add, scoring that try there. I just thought the game was very back and forth, very tough. It looked like we were going to run away with the game at one stage, but Broncos, credit to them, they caught up, they scored the other 2 tries, and obviously headed into a draw there, being 18 all, and then the doozy happened there with Reece Walsh, right, to the start of the golden point where he kicked the ball dead. I felt for him, I really did, but at the same time, I want to take it any day of the week. So that's probably how I summarize it, but I'm just glad we got away with 2 points.
What's your thoughts, Tama, on this game? Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it, being a Broncos fan, but the Warriors' mindset to not even hang into games. The Warriors have just changed their mindset of being in the contest for the full 80 minutes. And a few seasons ago they might have dipped out. And over the years they've always had those professional Aussies in the team. Your Jason Deeths and Ivan Clearys and things like that. And what they've brought to the Warriors, but the Warriors' mindset is just unbelievable. They've done really, really well. Broncos, again, it's that consistency, that execution, teams like the big clubs like your Broncos and Roosters and Storms, they've got to find a way, like your Manchester Cities, or they got to find a way for that consistency. So I know it's tough, it's hard, but it wouldn't be easy going over to Auckland and playing them there as well. So, no, good stuff for the Warriors.
Darren, anything? Yeah. So just on the Broncos, I definitely see him a top 4 side. I think they're still probably adjusting to the new coach, Michael Maguire. I actually rate him really highly. He's obviously been to a few clubs, but he's a really good coach, a very smart coach. They've got the lineup, they've got the forwards. We'll see how they bounce back. I think they'll put a score on. But yeah, I think Broncos, it's a blip, it's hard to travel to New Zealand, and I think they'll bounce back. So the next game we went to in Sydney, Roosters versus the Panthers.
So under the lights of Allianz Stadium, it's desperation stakes on Easter Saturday. The Roosters and the Panthers. And it's Nafahu White. Nafahu White inside the 20. Late offload, no one saw coming. Watson thought he could get through, just held on to. Liam Henry was important there. Now swung to the open. Sandon Smith. Tedesco. Moanganita was there. Then the flick. Tupou in the corner. Incredible start for the Roosters. Last tackle here for Penrith. Lindsay, 6 more tackles. 6 more tackles. Hence why Lindsay Smith just charges into them. Comes to Kenny. On for Yo. Papali'i. Great run, Papali'i. He's almost there. Kenny. Yo. Driven into the ground. Bread and butter for Radley. Right side again. Cleary. Edwards. Surely. Yes. Alamotti scores. Penrith hit back. Penrith on the board. Savala got slow service. Dom Young won't get there. Toyer almost. Great save. Penrith come down with it. And it's a penalty here. McLean went up there, and you can see on the screen mid-air the tackle. So Toyer went up and he wrapped his arms around Kev. That's what did him in. He's Radley. White. Zavala. Tedesco. Comes away to Young. Puts the foot down for the first time tonight. The kick. Tedesco! Hang on to it. Edwards was there to bring him down. Tedesco was so close. Here's Cleary. Cleary at the line. Edwards is doing it again. Comes to Alamotti. And the Panthers have their second try. A big one just before half-time. And it's a repeat of the first. Here is Cleary. And he has got it. And Nathan Cleary is the greatest point scorer in Penrith history. Cleary, time to really set this kick up here. Tupou on the 10. Great catch, but was someone taken out? They certainly were. Penrith penalty. And yes, down the middle it goes. Biggest lead of the night belongs to Penrith, 14 points to 6. As Kenny goes back to Cleary. Edwards working in the middle. Early ball for Yo. Yo puts on a bit of left foot work there, but happy to take the tackle with one left. Kenny pokes it in, and this could be a try. Oh yes, Isaiah Papali'i has scored for Penrith. And now they break to the short side. Little out. Toyer is going to score. It's shades of Barber in the 2016 grand final. Some simplicity, but some beauty. And the Roosters out of nowhere get their second.
What a superb scrum move.
The kick from Cleary is shallow. Might be tricky though. Might be real tricky. Leota bats it back. Now comes to Yo. The kick hits the post. And this could be a Talangi try. Blaze Talangi. He gets his first Penrith try. Kenny to Yo. Yo to Smith. Out the back Talangi. That's Penrith beauty. That's gorgeous. And Dylan Edwards gets over. As it just murdered, the lights just flickered there. Now comes to Edwards. Edwards with bodies in motion. Talangi on. And McLean's going to get his way over. He's over and scoring. Casey McLean. There's Radley. It's a clip there on Jenkins.
And Penrith here, they're going to go for 2 to win this game. And it's got the distance. So another Super Saturday game ends with a long-range kick from in front. This one not so important, but for the Panthers, well, perhaps reports of their demise somewhat exaggerated.
And it was a bit of a flogging by the Panthers, 40 points to 12. I didn't see this come. I thought obviously Panthers were due. You can't keep them down too long. But after they'd already played each other and the Roosters won, I thought maybe a closer contest. But yeah, 40 points to 12. Nathan Cleary showed his Dylan Edwards. I thought was after his last round, he was a bit disappointing. He was really good. Yeah, what was your thoughts, Apai, on this game?
Yeah, I guess just what Tom was touching on with the Broncos. Just the Roosters 1 week they're winning and the next week they're getting flogged like that. Yeah, it rings true in this game here. I did tip the Roosters, so I was very surprised, but at the same time I'm not. I almost feel like the Panthers are surely due to try and make a stand again and obviously show how dominant they have been for the last 5+ years, if you will, 4 years. The game, I don't know what to make of it. It was pretty one-sided. Roosters just weren't on. Again, Panthers led by Nathan Cleary looked good. Isaiah Yeo there, Edwards. Yeah, it was just a good game. And Isaiah Papali'i I thought was actually really good as well.
Yes.
And it was a game I think they needed, and probably a game that they'll take with them in. It could be very scary business for every other team heading forward.
100%. Tama, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I had Roosters Storm Broncos 13+.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Panthers. Yeah, too much class, man. Too much class, and Roosters have got that too. But it's just just finding it, man. Week in, week out in the grind.
Darren, any thoughts on this one?
I guess just good to see that Panthers back in the winners' circle and giving Panthers fans something to be happy about.
Yeah, I've been worried if who's playing them next round, and we'll obviously talk about it later. But so we got a Sunday. Sunday was in Gold Coast. I didn't see all this game, but I seen most of the second half. Titans versus Raiders.
Titans need to win their fans back. They haven't been all that flash at home. Sunday afternoon underway, and Big Papa with the very first hit up of the day. Now Brimson, a dig which bounces up beautifully for both Fermor.
Delicate kick from Brimson. Nice work from Verrills, the deception. But Brimson just getting it in behind Fogarty. Just. And it's set up perfectly for Fermor.
Ooh, he's lost it and regathered. Now it goes back to Weaver. A bomb from 35 metres out to the corner of Tamale. The challenge was fantastic from Fafita. The Titans are wound up. They are switched on. They've come ready to play. They're in the game and they lead by 10. Lowry back on deck today has only had the 7 minutes of footy this year. Brimson kick and chase. He's going to win it as well. AJ Brimson at his best. AJ lights it up. Lights up Seabus. Titans third try.
Yeah, he needed this, Brimson. It's been a quiet start to the season for him. But his kicking game has troubled opposition sides, and it's been his go-to.
It'll get you out of jury duty, let me tell you. Back to the ball.
What a moment.
They go at him hard. And that is some poking of the bear, that tackle. A nice exchange here. Fogarty to Strange. Overlap is there. Speed to finish it off. Tamale goes over for the Raiders. Starling, left side. Fogarty. Beautiful ball. That is wonderful. Hudson Young running off Morgan Smithies. Starling, left. Smithies. Fogarty. Straight run. Raiders. Strange over. The Raiders. The Green Machine. Great sport, this one, Rugby League. Great sport. A game of moments, all these little moments, all these little turning points we've had in the first half. We've had a bucket load of them. 11 metres away from Weeks to Fogarty. It's a standard bomb across field. Chris is there. What a catch. Sebastian Chris. He's having his best season in the NRL. Weaver, nice play. Beautiful hands, Kelly. Now Fitzgibbon. He's got his first in the NRL. It's a great moment for this winger. He's quite a story. Alan Fitzgibbon. Weaver's 19th tackle of the day just there. Paddy, they're going to run it straight. Look at this fella, Hudson Young. Bulldozes his way for the line and is claiming the try. Hudson Young. Oh, up they came on Strange, and he takes his medicine, doesn't try to offload. But we've got a penalty there.
I understand, Sam.
Fogarty for the 10-point lead, and that's what it is. Paddy now. Up for Fogarty. Bomb. Right to the corner. Fitzgibbon's got all the pressure run in. Lost it. Savage. Savage over for Canberra. Of course it has to be checked.
The ball strikes Xavier Savage's right arm and then goes forward. This is a knock-on. We have a decision.
Last tackle, here it is. Got to be pinpoint. Weaver. They must contest it in the air. Weeks underneath it. They don't get there in time. And Weeks with a catch for Canberra.
Great take from young Weeks.
It's Canberra 30. The Gold Coast 10.
Raiders won 30-20. I felt like this game could have went either way. Like both teams weren't great. I think that a lot of mistakes by the Titans cost them, and then the Raiders kind of came over and won it. Jamal Fogarty, I think, was amazing. Just adding more dollar signs to his new contract if he goes to Manly or stays in the Raiders. Another kind of one, like we talk about the Roosters and the Broncos being inconsistent. The Raiders inconsistent, but still third on the ladder. They got towed by Manly a few weeks ago, and then kind of gone a bit of a run. So yeah, it was a game that could have went either way. The Dolphins. The Titans, well coached by Des Hasler. I think they just had a few injury problems. I think Jaden Campbell was out. That's cost them a bit. You obviously don't want too much change in your halves. The crowd was all Raiders fans. Doesn't surprise me. There's no Titans fans really around. That's why I keep saying they shouldn't have a team. They should be in Adelaide. But we've talked about that before. But what was your thoughts, Apai, about the Titans Raiders game?
Yeah, look, I think I sort of I don't feel bad for the coach, but I can see the frustrations there in Des Hasler post-conference. Again, to sort of be in front and then to lose the lead just as quickly as they got it. I don't know. I mean, Tino Fa'asuamaleau, I thought he would have helped a bit. He sort of did, but again, the inconsistencies, the ill-discipline, it's the same thing with the Titans. It really is. And, you just sort of add it with the fact that there's barely any fans as well. They have barely any fans. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I'm sort of sick of seeing them, honestly. So, yeah.
Yeah, they frustrate me, the Titans.
They do. They're borderline, I don't want to say this, no offense to their fans, but they're borderline boring. Like despite their good players, despite all the players they have, and they've got some superstars, they just can't quite seem to gel. It's just annoying. It's just, it's frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't catch this one. I only caught the highlights. And the Knights and Sharks, I just caught the highlights, but I watched the last game.
Yeah, as Apai was saying, I was a member for the Titans when I lived in the Gold Coast. The atmosphere there is terrible. Only time there's a good game there is when the Broncos come and the Broncos fans travel. Otherwise, there's no atmosphere. It's boring to watch. Sometimes they play well, but no one in the Gold Coast is really interested. Really, you might have a few kids who like it, but they don't have a supporter base there.
Simon, was it the Chargers that were there, or the South Queensland Crushers?
Gold Coast Chargers, Gold Coast Seagulls. They both failed as well. They failed. Obviously, they tried and tried and tried again. They've got the Titans there. I don't see them making money. I think they'll be losing money.
When you say failed, like, are you saying that you can see the same pattern happening with the Titans?
I can definitely see the same type of thing. Yeah. So they failed because of money. The Chargers and the Seagulls, they failed because of money. The NRL kind of have saved the Titans a few times from losing a lot of money. I don't think they're going to let it fold again, because it'd be a bad look for the NRL. But they don't, like, I love having the Queensland teams, but the Titans it just doesn't feel like a rivalry. Titans-Broncos, already the Dolphins and Titans have a rivalry already. The Cowboys and the Broncos have a rivalry, but there's no rivalry with the Dolphins. You're right there. Actually. Yeah,
100%.
So I lived in the Gold Coast for 3 years, and I never went like I would. The Titans jersey. You never seen anyone go, yeah, man, go the Dolphins, go the Titans. I walk down the shops anywhere else and I'm wearing any jersey, there's people supporting you. You go, no one cares. It's like the AFL with the Suns. Like they're actually more successful, but you go to a game there and there's no one there. Everyone's at the theme parks. Going to Dream World or Movie World or Calvin Avenue. I don't know. So, but that's another story to talk about. Now we've talked about it on podcast a few times that the Titans should be relocated. But yeah, it's frustrating to, as you said, it's frustrating to watch. I want them to succeed, and they kind of don't, do they? So yeah. All right, we'll move on. We talked enough. It's be a Titans podcast soon, won't it? So the next game was the Sharkies versus the Knights in Newcastle.
The catch taken at the back by Tyson Gamble, the new face in the halves, and back comes Leo Thompson. Hines in position for a kick. He takes them on. Good step, evades Crossland, and away to Oregon Corfusi. And the front rower is the first try scorer after 12 minutes of footy.
Comes out of the line. Oh, Zuzu MUX replay. He comes out of the line and just misses it. Ordinary tackle, and then Corfusi, he goes underneath the post.
Jack Hetherington and Adam Elliott missing from this team today. Good hand, Sharp. Away to Bradman Best, that's better. An offload to the speed machine. Sharp into the clear, and he's off for his 10th try at home in his last 8 games.
Now they're going to look for an obstruction here.
And Nico Hines tackles this man without the ball. He wanted him. He tackles him. He's not obstructed by him. He tackles him.
Thomas stops in the line and affects Nico Hines' ability to slide over and defend.
Wrong. Absolutely
decision
wrong.
made.
Nico had no intention of sliding over the defend. Nico made a tackle.
Trindle against the grain. Great tackle, Crossland.
Brilliant defence.
2 try savers, either sides of the field. Kafusi for a double, offloading out the back. McInnes keeps it alive. Brayley, Fadil Blake. The 2 props have scored the first 2 tries, and that's a cracking try. But the Sharkies are out deep and wide, and they've got an overlap through the hands. Stone Street in the corner.
Well, this is unforgivable.
Well, that just looked like a training gallop for the Sharks.
Always out of action. Tyson Gamble, Caelan Ponga, Bradman Best, catching, passing. Here goes Mars. Yeah, he crosses over.
Yeah. Get across field. Catch pass, Best. And Marju.
Good finish. Hines to Nicola. Squeezes it out the back. Hines on the bump. Look out. Picked up by Bradman Best. He's nearly off. There was an ankle tap. If Sharp can get into the clear, he'll score. He's over the halfway. They've been able to regroup, and Stone Street makes the tackle, but this could be a turning point. Spiral pass. Ponga to Brayley, out to Gamble, now to Pierce Paul. And Gagai with a catch and tap on Schiller had overrun it. 5. Hines handles again, spears one away for Hiroti, who rolls out of the first tackle and rolls over the line, but this may well be called back.
Yeah, nice work from Schiller.
Held up.
He holds him up, gets in nice and tight. Schiller comes, gets in tight and rolls him over and gets the body. Yeah, great effort.
He's got some moves, Hiroti.
It's to the head on him. That's the slit in the case, so you're in the bin.
Oh, it's an intercept straight to Ramey and away to Stone Street. He goes to the speedster, and you can call off the chase. Cronulla have got one right against the run of play. Able to play this fast. He left the 2 markers lying on the ground, so Brayley goes to town and rolls a kick in behind. Kennedy! Brilliantly worked. You could see that try coming from the moment they got the ball.
Brilliant play.
Gamble tap on from Bradman Best. It was marginal. Marju's got it. He's dancing away from them again. He's been the best player on the field for Newcastle. Marju up inside the 30. No one's going to stop him. He gets it over the top. Greg Marju's playing with them.
The beast.
Trindle digs in, goes across to our man who we've been glowing about throughout the coverage, Marweni Hiroti. Another try. Frizzell over the top, Pierce Paul. There's another offload and Schiller scores. So
So Sunday footy comes to a conclusion and a comfortable win for Cronulla on the road, 34-14.
Sharks won 34-14. Newcastle, for mine, they've been very disappointing this year. Callum Poggen's been there, he's thereabouts, but they haven't had much really to, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks, to be happy about. I still feel, I said this last season, they have to stick with a halves pairing. They keep changing their halves pairings up. It just looks disjointed when they're in attack. Like they kind of look confused which way they're going to go. They're going left, they're going right. Just give the ball to Kalen, he'll work it out. You know, like I feel like they rely on him, kind of like Manly rely on Turbo. The Knights rely on Kalen, and the Sharks were good and won quite easily. Obviously got Willem Kennedy. He played amazing. He's leading the Dally M at the moment. What was your thoughts, Apai, on this game?
Yeah, sort of similar to the Roosters game. I thought. I will just say though quickly, Bradman Best been a bit rocks and diamonds. I was really hoping he would have a stellar year this year. I don't think he's quite reached his potential yet. Maybe that's the team, perhaps, but I want to see a little bit more from him. But in saying that, when he's on, he's so good to watch. But again, credit to the Sharks and for All Blakes. Samuel Stone Street, just quietly, he's building up a little resume there. I reckon. I like what he's producing there, and he touched on Will Kennedy. I thought early in the season there was probably questions around him in the team and what he sort of can bring or whatever. But I think in the last couple of rounds he's definitely found his form and he's firing in all cylinders. Again, me using that word there, but he's been good. And again, credit to the Sharks. I personally have them as a top 4 team and perhaps a smoky. But as for the Knights, well, it seems like when Ponga's on, they're on. If Ponga's not on, they're off. So
yeah.
I was just about to say that. Do you think Ponga sort of dips in and out too much?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He goes missing sometimes, and they need him basically every play really when they're in attack. I'll quickly go. So for Noel Blake, we'll talk about him just quickly. So he comes to every Manly game and he sits in the crowd. He's really close with Olakuatu, all the Polynesian players really. So I see him every week. Obviously, he plays for the Sharks. He's played for the Warriors, but he's really close with the Manly crew. So I could see him possibly trying to lure some players over the Sharks from Manly because they're real tight. They're real tight. Could happen. That could be a bit of a scoop there because I was there the first game and I'm like, walking to get a hot dog and I'm like, that's Noel Blake, and then I went round 2 and then there he is again and then I've seen him every round and he's he stays after the game and sees all the players and gives them hugs and stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe he could try and lure Alakawatu to the Sharks. I would hate that. That'd be terrible. Imagine that lethal side. Oh, for Noel Blake and Alakawatu. Oh, dangerous. All right, so we go to the last game, which was Easter Monday, and this was a kind of an important game for both teams. Obviously, Mitchell Moses came back for the Parramatta Eels, and the Tigers dropped their 5'8" Lachlan Galvins.
33 metres out from his own line. It's a perler. Mitchell Moses. Bullock couldn't stop it. Welcome back, Mitchell Moses. Moving quickly into position. Iongi, Smith, across. There's Brown. Moses on his outside this time. Over to Adokar. Here goes the Fox. Here's the reaction. Yes. It's good enough from Parramatta, though. Coruscant to May. That's not good enough. Coruscant opens a little corridor for Terrell May to plunge over. Coruscant. Infield, Bird, May, Luai, overlap left side, Buller, Naden takes them on, offloaded off his knees, play on for Buller. Here goes Parramatta's way, Brown, Moses across and brings his fullback into the play and opens it up, Iongi. Smith, early chance, Parramatta this second half, Walker and Moses, well he's made a recovery to Alagi, he sprints over to score the try. Smith with it, and a dummy half, a little wrestle from the dummy half. He loses his headgear. It would have been a triple movement had he scored. Now they'll go again at a dummy half, and Tuivasa-She's got it down. The big front rower. Now Smith, Walker, and Brown. This is good again, Parramatta. Iongi and Russell, onto Adokar. The speed is on there. Parramatta.
Right side of the field, someone said no, you booked on the left, so he sprinted around to get in position there and just tried to push that ball out.
Well, here are the Eels absolutely on top. Oh boy, Smith has then been thrown over by Taruva. Tino may as well go and sit down. Taruva's just been pulled out of the play again. As we watch the replay, he's going off and now he's being sent to the sin bin. And now he wants to go, hello, Battle of Brookvale stuff. Go. Sean Russell gives him a little send-off. Oh, hang on a second, Tino. Someone from the Tigers. Usher him from the field. He is on tilt.
He's the last line of defence, professional failure in the bin.
Oh, he's in the
hang on
bin.
a sec.
Hold on.
Sin bin for the young fullback. Last tackle. Moses, another jump. Gets it a little off the side again. In fact, he grabbed at something after kicking with his left leg. Parramatta got the ball. And the Tigers try saver from Buller. Still with the Tigers. Last tackle. Luai. Kick through. Chases aplenty. Back they go. Safer has scored for the West Tigers. Now, big shift to the right. Dewey across to Buller. On it comes for Toa. Taruva's on his outside. He can offload. He does offload. Oh, and Anoka! The intercept of the decade. Full width to work with. They know it. Dewey with the ball. Here they go. Bolle to Coruscant to Luai. Overlap. Naden got it away. Lavalier is taken out by Moses. Pass will want to be good. Goes high. Dewey. May. Luai. Kick again. Kick through again. The Tigers are there front. And he got there. Lavalier. Coruscant. May. Dewey, Buller, moving nicely. Toa loses it. Parramatta. Russell has to find Anoka. Does find the Fox. And Parramatta get back. The Tigers get back and make the tackle. And now Parramatta's on the charge.
Well, they took some scrambling then from the Tigers with Anoka, the ball in his hands. They shifted to the right side.
Moses kicks. Simonson all on his own. Just needs a bounce. Simonson gets the bounce. Something appropriate about Easter and Moses. Coruscant, Bolle, Dewey, flat, safer, no one. Anoka is away. He'll win the Stole gift. He'll win this match. Full time. Parramatta, the Mighty Eels 38. The West Tigers 22.
It was a tough week for the club. Benji Marshall was in the firing line. Luai came out in support. Most of the players did, and they lost 38-22. I thought the Tigers would show up, but the Eels, they ran over the top of them. And Mitchell Moses' first game back was really, really good. So I didn't like it all because I hate Parramatta. But yeah, what is your thoughts, Apai, on this one?
Yeah, just quickly, I just want to say I personally feel for Lachlan Galvin in that situation. I do like how Benji Marshall handled himself, though. Pure professional, the way he answered the media there, addressing everything and everyone there. But as for the game, yeah, look, I think the Tigers were missing a 5'8", surprisingly.
Yeah.
As for the Eels, again, it was good to have Mitch Moses there. I thought Dylan Brown looked a better player when he was there beside him. Yeah, he just adds so much, again, structure. It's unfortunate Lomax is not playing, obviously out with injury, but it'll be good when he's back in the team. But I just thought that the Eels were good. Iongi as well at fullback. He's having a quiet little season as well, and I believe he's a Queenslander as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, he's going to be a handy addition there for you Queenslanders there. But just enjoying it, and good physical game. A few controversial calls, maybe, right? Hip drop and whatever, but it was good. A Monday Easter game there was good to see, and good Eels.
Yeah, Tama, anything to add?
Yeah, no, just again with the Tigers, a better start to the season than obviously the last few seasons. But yeah, they'll hopefully get some consistency going, and hopefully because Calvin's back in this week, isn't he?
He's back. Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, hopefully, I don't know what you guys' thoughts are, but in terms of if someone doesn't want to be at your club, they don't want to be at the club. But again, they're all paid professionals, and they just got to get around them.
Yeah, exactly.
And Apai, like you said, I think Benji was very professional and was right on the money.
Yeah, we better quickly run through our tips, and we'll do a quick preview because we're running out of time here. We've talked a lot. Obviously, before we recorded, we were chatting. So we'll go through round 8. Starts off tomorrow night, Thursday night. The Broncos versus the Dogs. This will be a real good game. Obviously, Reece Walsh is out. It's a big out for them. But Selwyn Cobler goes back to fullback, and I think he'll do well at fullback. Not really any outs for the Bulldogs. What's your tips, guys? Suncorp, Thursday night. Yeah, so I think the Broncos fans should show up. They usually do. Who's your tipping? Apai and Tama.
Yeah, look, Broncos potentially heading into a third loss in a row, right? And I just think there's a lot of pressure mounting on them. Reynolds and Hunt, they're definitely due for a bounce back after last week's game against the Wires. Despite the Bulldogs being so clinical and obviously dogs of war and all that, I'm actually going to tip the Broncos to do this. It's going to be an upset, but I'm going to tip the Broncos to hold the fort at home, and I believe they can.
Yeah,
same.
I'll go Broncos 12 under.
Yeah. I think Broncos too at home, tough to beat. The Dogs are due for a loss, and I think the Broncos will bounce back. They've got too much class, and I think this will be the Dogs' biggest test for the year. And at Suncorp, they get a bit of a roll on. I see them kind of I think 1-12, but won't be surprised if we'll go to Golden Point. To be fair, Darren, what's your thoughts?
I think I'm going to have to join the majority and go Broncos for this one. I think it'll be close, but I think the Broncos.
Yeah. All right, so Friday, Anzac Day. Lest we forget, the first game is the Roosters and the Dragons. This is always kind of an Anzac Day clash. Tough one to pick, really. The Dragons can be good. The Roosters can be good. Hot and cold. I think I'm gonna go Dragons in a bit of an upset there. What's your thoughts, Apai and Tama?
Yeah, again, lest we forget, I love watching these two teams play each other. I reckon, I want to stick with the Roosters here.
Roosters?
Yeah, I think for the occasion, it could go either way. But, Roosters for me.
Roosters, Darren?
Yeah, I think looking at them on paper, I think I'd have to go Roosters.
Roosters, yeah. So the second game of Anzac Day is over in Christchurch, and it's the Warriors versus the Knights. I don't see the Knights beating the Warriors in Christchurch. Not many changes, really, for either team. Charles is back, Nick Klostak. That's about it. Yeah, I think the Warriors will big crowd, get behind them, and I think they'll win easily. What's your thoughts, Apai and Tama?
Yeah, look, just quickly, Kalen Ponga loves having a Queensland-like game against us. He always does. Don't you worry. He's going to be... Look, I'm nervous about this game. I really am. I want to back the boys because it's at home, but just watch out for Kalen Ponga. That's what I want to say. He switches on against the Wires for some reason.
What's your thoughts, Tama?
Yeah, like you said, if Kalen turns up, different story. But I'm going to go Warriors.
Warriors, yeah. Darren?
Warriors,
yeah. So the last game of Anzac Day is the Storm and the Rabbitohs. Latrell's back at fullback. Yeah, so it's a big... They got Campbell Graham back in the centres. He was on the wing last week. They look a stronger team. Saying that, though, the Storm got flogged last week. Craig Bellamy, I think, is one of the greatest coaches. Will he have him ready? 100% he'll have him ready. When I watched the Manly Storm game, because I was obviously watching the Storm, and they just seem to do everything as a team. There's no individual players. They all seem to have each other's backs in defence. In attack, they just seem to be fast when they're doing stuff. Like they all seem to have know their job, know what they're doing. Where some teams, look disjointed, where the Storm always look kind of on. So after last week's effort, I kind of see them bouncing back. Yeah, it would be a good game, but I think the Storm will win easily. What's your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, look, as much as I really want to back the Rabbitohs, it's just not going to happen. And I respect Wayne Bennett. He's my GOAT, but look, Storm will be ready. They're going to thump him.
It's the battle of the GOATs, isn't it, really? The coaches, the GOAT coaches.
Yeah. And after coming off that loss for the Storm, I mean, I guess they're both coming off those losses, but Bally will make sure that they'll sort it out this week.
Yeah. Darren, thoughts? Storm. Yeah. So next game is from Townsville. It's the Cowboys-Titans. The Cowboys started off really poor the first couple of rounds. They've obviously bounced back. They changed their halves pairing. Looks a lot better. Drinkwater's been in good form. Dave Fafita's back, but I don't think the Titans are going to beat the Cowboys in Townsville. Yeah, so I'm going to tip the Cowboys. What's your thought, guys?
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to be silly and I'm going to actually tip the Titans. I reckon Khan Pereira being in the team as well adds a bit of dynamite.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're due for a win, surely, right? Surely.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys come from a bye too, so I'm just going to tip the Titans.
There you go. Tama, what's your thoughts?
Well, Cohen Hess is another one for me that has lacked that consistency over the years. He should have kicked on years ago.
I agree, 100%.
He was awesome, but I'll go to Titans.
Titans, yeah. Darren, thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Titans will bounce back and take this game, so I'll go Titans.
Yeah. So it should be a good game. Hopefully, I feel like there's nothing else to do in Townsville, so they should get a big crowd in Townsville. A lot of the defence force in Townsville, so they should get behind it and get a big crowd there. The next game is in Sydney. It's Combank. It's the Panthers versus Sea Eagles. I'll be there. Obviously, Turbo's back for Manly. Panthers seem to be back in form. I'm worried, but they are missing Mitch Kenny. He's a really underrated hooker, and Luke Gardner's out as well. I would love to say Manly, but with all what's going on with DCE, Turbo's coming back. Is he going to get injured again? It's a worry. Every time he touches the ball, I get worried. I'm like, don't hurt yourself, please. Like, just, are you okay? So I'm going to tip against my team. I think the Panthers will win. I'm just worried about Manly's attack. But having Turbo back, yeah, I'm worried. All right, what's your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, look, I'll just say quickly, I really feel for you fans when the first thought of Tom Trbojevic isn't what he's going to do with the ball. It's more so, is he going to pull his hammy? So that's pretty tough. That's tough. Yeah. In saying that, yeah, look, I think the Panthers are ready for this game here. Unfortunately, just too much happening to Sea Eagles there for me to back him. So it's going to be Panthers for me.
Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers.
All right, we'll run real short on time, so we've got to run through these next two. We'll just say teams and we'll go. So Raiders, Dolphins. I'm going to go Dolphins. Anyone else? What's your thoughts?
Raiders.
Yeah.
Raiders. And then last game is the Tigers versus the Sharks. Obviously, Galvin's back. I'm going to go Tigers at home. Leichhardt, what are your thoughts, guys?
Tigers, going to back them.
Tigers.
Yeah. Either way, Tigers. Yep, Tigers.
Tigers. Well, that's it. That's all we'll get time for tonight on the Rampage League podcast. Guys, it was lovely to have a chat with you. We'll be back next week. Darren, you got anything to add before we close up?
No, well, hopefully next week we'll have a video comes out alongside the podcast, so stay tuned to be able to see who the voices are.
Beautiful. All right, guys, bring back the Rams, eh? I'll talk to you next week. Enjoy your footy.
See you guys.
Go the Rams. Bah! Go the Rams. Bah!
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line and met by some very willing Auckland defence and pushed back a couple of metres. Kerrod Walters just goes from dubbing half to pick up Darren Doherty. 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.